here's the thing. I like the word key because you need to know your key elements, like your key incident or episode. World War One. So then you can link up the whole idea of it started to tip, started to erupt, and so you can talk. You can discuss the cause and the effects of World War One in reference to this building up the pressure and final fall of the Tsar. Okay. So any questions there so far? I can edit some of this out, no problem. Just questions, comments that sound like you could implement this in if you got used to it. It might. Look. Anyone else?
I think tides is a good one for Russian because there were times when it was really full on and crazy, and then it died down for a while, and then it came back and big events.
Yep. Yeah, and the really good thing about using metaphors of like kind of not linear but sort of cyclical or ones that kind of come and flow like the ebb and flow of a tide is if you're thinking in terms of that long-term perspective, you're demonstrating to the moderator or the essay marker or your teacher, you're demonstrating that you have that really long-term perspective, which is going to be really impressive as well. That you can kind of, I don't know how much time and space in an essay you've got to reference stuff, that far, but if you make a brief reference to that sort of perspective, like the long-term perspective, you can say, similar to the events of, I don't know, something way back in the 1800s or whatever, which didn't have a huge impact on it was a precursor too. Words like precursor are really good because it's like a mini version of what was about to happen later. It was a precursor to, the melting pot that kind of happened, that started to build up. Whatever, there's ways of putting it. You need to think about how you write it into your words. So you can also have a cool down, or like when the lava flows and then it sort of cools down and it just everything kind of just settles a little. The ashes settle, and what have you got after that? What do you have after the eruption and the turmoil, and then things settle? Maybe a new system starts to find its confidence to, however you want to put it. So here you've got two metaphors, like the crumbling building or the empty building or just the decay sort of metaphor. And this one, what do you think this kind of metaphor represents? Or how would you word this one?
Open up the heavens or something.
Open up the heavens. Yeah. Is that meant to be a blessing or a curse? A positive thing or
a positive thing?
Yeah. All right. So you can have a metaphor that frames things in a slightly negative way. Ivory tower might sound positive, but actually it's not. It's kind of ridiculing this person who's up in the tower by themselves, removed from reality. So and this kind of crumbling building, like if you imagine a regime or a country as like a building, and it's crumbling at the walls, or social structure maybe crumbling, then that's like a negative metaphor. The positive metaphor on this side is generally like hope, and when you're looking at oppressive systems, if you're looking at, say, North Korea, and you might be able to build it into the story of Russia, etc. You've got messages of hope in terms of when it's dark, and that's the thing with things like the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, let's just have a look at different types of metaphors. Types of metaphors. Positive. So you're framing things in the positive. Hope was you had to find hope in the midst of turmoil or darkness, or when you look at the rate of the Jews and Nazi, you could frame it in that way. It was a very bleak time, bleak. It was a dark period of oppression, perhaps. And was there hope? People like Schindler, if you look at Schindler and other people, there were elements of hope there in some ways, and you can go into that story. But you can also frame it in the negative. Okay? You also have cliches. Alright, the cliched ones, so the mountain, climbing the top of the mountain, that's quite powerful. Then you've got some other powerful ones like the journey. What's another cliche? The roller coaster. You could actually frame it in that sense, the roller coaster ride. So if you're talking about one, sometimes history essays look at an individual, say like Hitler, or perhaps Marx or someone, I don't know. So, or in Cuba it was Castro. So when you're looking at a particular individual, we've got the journey. Some cliches there, and if you look at it as a roller coaster, or crashing of the rocks, his life took a turn, or it was a sudden turn in the event. That's like the roller coaster, or it was a fairly depressive period, or things started to pick up. The same kind of language, and just weave it through. So you've got the journey, then you've got some other quite powerful ones, like light, somehow using light. For history, I think some really good ones include, like we said before, geographical. For some reason they just really work well. You've got your like the volcano or the tidal wave came crashing down, sort of thing, and earthquakes even, wind and water, these sort of things. All right, but I want to just briefly mention this one as well. I think a fairly advanced type of metaphor is the communal. So once you've kind of got the hang of doing this, you may choose something that's a lot more to do with community and family, but I'll put it this way. Like the global village is one metaphor. We're not really talking about a physical village, but the global village. When you argue, you do argumentative writing, sometimes for example, climate change. This is not history so much, but still, you've got the we must work together, united. So it's about unity of people. Okay, and so I'll just mention that as another way of framing things, if you wish. So the brotherhood, the sisterhood, of mankind, and Mother Earth is another one. But with history, it might not so much apply. Okay, so have we covered metaphor speak? That kind of works. And then, so what you need to do, you don't overdo it, but you subtly put it in, and then right at the conclusion, you try and bring in that whole the key concept, your key argument, as well as a slight reference to your metaphor, if possible, if it works. Okay, so you'll be the judge of where and when to weave it in. All right, that's it.
And the last sentence of your essay is a good chance to finish with something big picture, philosophical, and the metaphor might provide that.
Yes, which kind of, I might even talk about the first and last sentence here. Okay. So the first and last sentence of, we've just mentioned the last sentence. Because you can write an A-grade essay without sort of using some of these techniques. And we just meant like using that final sentence to just sum up your arguments is okay. You can get an A-grade on that, but sometimes just a couple of, just to stand out from the crowd. And also show your breadth of thinking. So it's not just about the topic and the topic only, but you're thinking about humanity, you're talking about the journey of people, because that's what history is, it's the journey of peoples, not only physically with migration and movement, but also about ideas like democracy and freedom and other things, right? So if you want to just push it up a notch, say from an A to an A+, then you can impress your writer. To be honest, an essay is it's a persuasive tool, isn't it? You're trying to persuade somebody of your argument, of what you think. So So to add a little bit more to your perspective of the history side of it, and to show the breadth of thinking, you can look at that big picture stuff, which is what you mentioned there, the big picture. It's sometimes worded as sort of a philosophical. Now, I can sometimes put it as universal. In English, we talk about universal themes, and people really understand and identify with and engage with themes that are universal to every human being. The struggle and the journey and the success, the victory, those kind of ideas. Alright, so yeah, and we could add a couple more, like you're actually more abstract. And I put there conceptual. Okay, does that make sense? And that would, and so you could probably do that sort of, kind of with your first sentence, although you might just want to focus straight on the essay question. You could just frame it in a slightly bigger picture way. Okay? Do you think is this stuff that you could apply in your essays? Can you see how it could just influence?
Quite metaphor for Russia because there's aftershocks in there, and then it affects the communists and all that, and the Bolsheviks after the autocratic regime.
Yeah, excellent.
I can see that there'd be difficulties though with putting those in and not sounding colloquial.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the key. Yeah.
You know,
Keep going.
yeah.
That's it. Because that's the thing. Colloquial. I think if you are able to do something well and then bring it back to the level of and sort of remove yourself a little bit from the technical, so you include a bit of colloquialism, I think that shows even like a great level of mastery of English. If you look at your TV shows or say BBC documentaries, and it is for a wider audience, even though your marker's the expert, it still shows that you're able to move between modes from that really technical stuff which you need and slightly colloquial. But yeah, you don't want to do it too much. That's a good thing because you'll lose all the technical.
It also depends on what metaphors you choose.
Yep.
If you say that,
mismatching.
The Tsarist regime was like a rusty bicycle.
Yeah.
It's probably not, Yeah. Or like a computer game, like using, what's a computer game? I don't know.
Like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, so
Target.
it's trying to compare it to that would not be a good metaphor. But comparing it to, major Earth movements, things like that, people can relate to that. It's a bit more formal.
Okay, so I think what I'll do, I think this is in the beginning actually. So I'll just add a couple of quick tips and then we'll finish. Yeah, I really like your idea of, how you could apply the earthquake metaphor and the aftershocks, how that could apply to the Russian Revolution, etc. Yeah, definitely. That was a good comment. And also, mismatching your, like if you just come up with a random metaphor that really doesn't fit, that's going to look a little weird. So you can do it artfully. And the comment about sounding too colloquial, that's a good point as well. So if you can do it well and still demonstrate, because once you've demonstrated you've got the mastery of the history side and the technical stuff, there's no question about that. So then you probably have a bit of space at the A to A+ level. That's the area where you've probably got a bit of space to have a little bit of colloquialism, a little bit of that metaphor stuff, a little bit. It just shows a little bit more of a, it probably makes the reading a little bit more fun as well for the marker. There might be people who don't want to read that sort of style, but if you do it well, I think it will work.